You ready? Strong say something.
Yeah, so there's three different reasons. Why they would change. The first reason was can I get testing? The hay that she has, no, she has hay now. Has hay now. She lost the letter Yud.
Yeah, I'll move it.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't. So this is weird. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's okay.
Okay, so we'd like to say a special thanks this week to the families who sponsored CFL. Family Watman, Winkler, Wenger, and Cooperman. Thank you very much to all those families. And also, we're very lucky to hear from Jonathan Wenger this week.
Thank you. All right, thank you all for listening. When I was reading through the Parsha, I found something a little bit interesting towards actually the end of the Parsha. When it talks about, we know the Maftir talks about Amalek, where we have to know that we have to destroy Amalek's name in every generation, but just something very interesting that came up there. If you look at your first source, when it talks about Amalek itself, it says, Vayavo Amalek, Vayalachem im Yisrael b'Refidim, that Amalek came and he fought against Israel and Refidim. Vayomer Moshe el Yehoshua b'char lanu an Hashem v'tzei lachem v'Amalek machar anochi nitzav al rosh hagivah u'matei elokim b'yadi. It says we should pick for men, go out, do battle, and I'm going to put myself on top of the hill. I'm not focusing so much on the actual details of what's going on right now. I'm just focusing on the name Yehoshua. Because if you look at source number two talks about the Elish Modhan Hashem Asher Shalach Moshe LaTor Haaretz Vayikra Moshe LeHoshea ben Yehoshua. When Moshe sends out spies, that's 2 Sfarim later in Parsha Shlach and Bamidbar. It talks about that Moshe changed the name of Hoshea to Yehoshua. But it seems an apparent contradiction because we know that Moshe called him Yehoshua before. So the Ramban attacks this question head on, and he says, "Vayomer Moshe el Yehoshua, nira mikan ki Moshe miyom heyoso lifanav haya kareh so Yehoshua." No, Moshe called Yehoshua always Yehoshua from the beginning. V'chein kasuv vayishma Yehoshua al kol ha'am. We know he already called him Yehoshua because we see not even in this parsha, but later on in Sefer Shmon in Parak Lamed Beis, it also calls him Yehoshua. V'akasuv she'omer be'inyan hameraglim vayikra Moshe Yehoshua ben Yehoshua. When he calls him like Hoshea to Yeshua, the whole point over there in Sefer Bar Midbar is saying the whole point is my Moshe changing name because he knew he'd be a spy. The reason he changed his name to Yeshua is he adds the first 2 letters, the Yod and the Hey, that it says that God should save you from the rest of the Meraglim. Ki ba'avur ze hamaseh shaya Moshe yodea shu atid lalechet im hamraglim kara lo Hashem hazeh, because he knew that Yoshua would go out with the rest of the Meraglim. He called him this name. Az namar ki az kavalo Moshe oto Hashem b'fnei ha'ida shelo yikro od Hosea v'yeshmo Yoshua. Another possible answer is what it says is that you're right, he was called Yoshua from the beginning, but at this point in time, that's where Moshe's like, okay, your name is not Hosea anymore, and now it's Yoshua. So just we answered this a little bit, but why was Hosea's name changed to Yoshua? We gave a little answer that God should save you from the rest of the Meraglim, but I just want to go a little deeper into that question of why his name was changed in the first place. So on that same pasuk in Parshat Shlach, the Das Kingdom comments in source number 4, Vayikra Moshe lo Hosea ben Nun Yoshua, Medrash Tanchuma ma ra'a likroto Yoshua el ra'a kaliv shenatal scharo ba'aretz, she'emar vayavo ad Chevron, uksiv b'mechum akir vayinu lekelav ad Chevron. So we know there was 2 out of the 10 bad Meraglim, there were 2 good Meraglim. One was Kalev and one was Yoshua. And we know that Kalev in his future was going to get one of the lands because it says vayavo ad Chevron, that Kalev came to Chevron. But it says Yoshua natal chilak asara anashim shel Meraglim. Yoshua got the portion of 10 of the slaves in the Meraglim. L'kachos if Yud b'shmo, so Yud gematria 10 makes perfect sense to put in his name. Ulefisha kara tagar shenechelka mishmei shel Sarai ufar lavikan. And we also see this when the name of Sarai was changed to Sarah. We say that Sarai lost her letter Yud, and you put it in Yoshua. The Yesh omrim shenechelka hey b'shem Sarah. The hey b'shem Avram also say they take the hey, you put the hey, because 10 divided by 2 is 5, so you put the hey in Sarah and the hey in Avram. The Ubetheres afilu nemar masik shenamar Moshe kal Yoshiach mitzes Meraglim. It gives the same reason we had before. So just an interesting tangent on this point is I heard from Repeller a few months ago. There's a Gemara in Soda that says if a man and a woman together, the Shekhinah is with them. But if not, a fire will burn them. Because if you take the words Ish and Isha, man and woman, you take away the Yud from the Ish and the Hey from the Isha, which is Hashem's name, then you get Ish, which is fire. So just an interesting tangential idea. So if you also, we've been mainly focusing on Hosea changing to Yoshua. I just wanted to to address what other name changes in the Yoshua. So the Chizkuni gives a very brief explanation of everyone else's name who was changed. It says, Vayikra Moshe lo Hosea ben Nun Yoshua. Umatzachein be'enav shekin hu aminhag shekin matzinu ba'Avraham, Sarah, Yaakov, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azarnet, Tzidkiah, shekfar shmo Matani v'nechemra shenikra harshata. So this is not the first time. We've seen many name changes throughout entire Tanakh, whether in Torah before with Avram and Sarah or after with Hananiah, Mishael, Azar. We see these name change going on. So when we talk about, as we were going through Daf Yomi, I figured this would be an interesting point to bring up. When we talk about calling people by their original name, whether we should stick to the new name, whether you call them by both names, whether we go. So I remember reading this Gemara. So it says in source number 6, Kayotzebo, Ata Omer lo yikrei shimcha od Yaakov ki im Yisrael yeshemecha lo sheyeh kar Yaakov im kamo eresh Yisrael ikar v'Yaakov tafelo. When we say that we change Yaakov's name to Yisrael, in that point we say we're not going to completely get rid of Yaakov. We're still going to have Yaakov, but Yisrael is going to be the ikar. Yaakov is going to be the tafel. And we say Tani bar kapara. So we spoke about Yaakov. We're going to go through a few more other people. Kol hakore la'Avraham Avram over ba'aseh. Anyone who calls Avraham by his old name of Avram violates an aseh. Shenemar vayashim Avraham. Rabbi Eliezer Omer over belav. Shenemar v'lo yikrei odashim Avraham. So it's machlukas whether you're over an aseh or a lav when you do this, but clearly you shouldn't be doing this. Elameata hakore l'Sara Sarai hachinami. We said by calling Avraham Avram, that's a bad thing. We say the same thing about calling Sarah Sarai. So we say Hasam kuchabrichu amar lavram Sarai ishtachal lo sikra shma Sarai ki Sarah shema. We say over there, that's where Hashem said explicitly that Sarah shouldn't be your name, and rather Sarah should be your name. You say Ela me'ata kor the Yaakov hachinami. So it should be the same thing. Why? We know that calling Avraham is bad. We know that calling Sarai Sarah is bad. So it's the same thing about Yaakov. What's the difference? So you say Shiny Hasam de Hadara Durekra. It's different by Yaakov because you see later on in the parsha that God calls him Yaakov again. We see this in Parsha Sa'igas, Vayomer Elokim Yisrael b'maros halayla Vayomer Yaakov. So there's a clear difference when we change the name. If it's mentioned after, it's okay, like we see by Yaakov. But if it's not mentioned after, we completely abolish the name in the Torah, then clearly you shouldn't be doing this. So we had another question that we said, although Yeshua isn't mentioned in this Gemara, how would we apply the same laws that we had by this just Gemara that we mentioned and apply it here? So I offer 2 suggestions. They kind of are contradicting each other. We have a Sefer Enoch called Hosea, which seems to see that it's probably an okay thing. But also the Ramban, when the Ramban says that when Parsha Shlach, when it says Vayikra Moshe lo Hosea ben Nun Yoshua, he makes some sort of public announcement. Okay, Hosea is no longer your name, Yoshua is your name. So it would seem we see one side that it would be okay, we see one side that it wouldn't be okay. And just to talk about our names and how they affect us in our daily lives, an earlier Gemara that we also had in Daf Yomi a couple of weeks ago, Minalan de Shma Garim. How do we know that a person's name affects their life? You say, Amar Rabbi Eliezer, de Amar Kra, Lechu Chazu Mifalot Hashem Aser Sam Shamot Ba'aretz. We say, go see the works of Hashem who made desolations which are Shamot upon the earth. And we said, Al Tikri Shamot El Shemot. Don't read them as desolations, rather names. Our names have a direct effect on what we do, whether we go in life. And just to conclude, you should take this lesson that some of us have similar names, but most of us have different names, and we should appreciate our names, appreciate where we came from, and realize that is our main purpose in life.